it's still necessary to go to university? Like, where does this initial passion come from?
I was fortunate enough to get these opportunities in my school. Knowledge is one thing, but opportunity is something different. Being challenged to think differently. One of the main things is encouragement of using AI in
really?
today.
It's like create your own startup.
I've done quite a lot of work with artificial intelligence in healthcare. So creating models or machine learning models, deep learning models for medicine, for diagnosing in oncology, pediatric appendicitis.
And I'm welcoming you to the new episode of the podcast, Unlocked Jobs, Dreams and Hustles. Alyssa, let me introduce you just by giving you the way of introducing yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Alyssa Mia Taliotis. I am from Paphos originally. I went to a Greek public school there, after which I attained my bachelor's with honours in mathematics at the University of Manchester. I graduated as valedictorian, class of 24, and I'm currently a master's student at Harvard and MIT in the United States, where I am pursuing my master's in data science and conduct research in artificial intelligence and machine learning with a focus on agentic systems, multimodal intelligence, scalable deep learning.
Can we start from this? Let's say, what was your way to the top universities?
I would say from within. I was always very, very curious and very, very ambitious in the sense that I wanted to see what was possible. I wanted to see what can be done and what can be built. And in this sense, I think curiosity was the key. From that, you pair it with hard work. So from the very, very beginning, even when you're young, I think having this interest in different areas and just being sparked with interest in these fields allows you to really delve into them very, very deep. And from there, you understand how to work hard, not because you have to, but because of interest. So I think that's something.
So it was your initial interest.
Yeah.
Interest in technology. What was the initial interest that drive you further?
Yeah, for me it was mathematics actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so funnily enough, I started from mathematics. I loved it when I was in school. My granddad taught me how to solve the large sums when I was young, and I would tell him he's crazy. But he's like, no, I will teach you how to do it today, and you'll be able to do it forever. And so he did. And then going on, I just found so many areas which were diverse. I can't say I'm the one person that knew they wanted to be a data scientist or a doctor when they were young. I loved chemical engineering. I even loved the legal space, the mathematics space. And it just turned out that by exploring all of them, I then realized what was the best for me.
What was the way of your exploration, let's say, of your passion? As you mentioned, like, did you have an ideal teachers on some subjects at school, for example, that inspired you? Or like, where does this initial passion come from?
Yeah. I think the very, very initial passion also comes from your parents, from home.
True.
For me, it was also my granddad, who was a prodigy in mathematics but never wrote it down, and so he just taught me how to do it in my mind. Growing up, I think it makes a major difference to what teachers you have and not losing sort of the passion because of a bad experience with the teacher. But in order to explore all of the different fields, the main thing I would say that helped, I was fortunate enough to get these opportunities in my school. I went to the Brodolligio in Paphos.
It's like just a state school,
It's a
right?
state
It's not
school.
a private school.
Yeah.
It's just a usual school in Paphos.
It's a usual school in Paphos, and I had opportunities to go to the European Youth Parliament, to the European Commission, and speak with people over there. I got the opportunities to be a journalist over there or debate in the European Youth Parliament over here. So just sort of getting these opportunities within school, it opened a new door, and it actually opened so much more because it gives you a new idea of what is happening.
Possible.
Yeah, what is possible.
General.
Um,
So you were raised here in Cyprus. How did you get into MIT? How did you get into Harvard? Like, what were the steps there?
Yeah, I would say for me, when I was in my final year of school, I had explored all of these areas and I liked all of them. I could have done like very, very different things. And it's funny because it was on the last day of applications for university that I decided I'm going to apply to mathematics. And I don't advise it, but I wrote my personal statement very, very quickly and got into a university that I ended up loving. So what happened there is I loved my department. My department was the Department of Mathematics at the University of Manchester, and I was just able to learn so much there and go into depth on a subject.
Okay.
So being able to sort of excel in that area, one, surrounded by people, but two, it comes back to the thing you mentioned about teachers and advisors. I ended up having a fantastic advisor over there and fantastic professors. So targeting sort of a school that can offer you this, the people to mentor. And from there, I was able to excel very much so in my academics, which then got me to Harvard and MIT. So I completed my mathematics degree. Before completing it, I knew I wanted further education. I knew I wanted more depth, more application. And so I applied to the top schools in the UK and then one in the US, and I got in. And so it was like a dream in honesty, but that is my journey of
Look,
that.
it's definitely a dream for many, many, many teenagers and parents. Can you just open a bit the doors of what is really Harvard as the university, of what is really MIT as the university is?
Yeah.
So what is the difference? I mean, is there really a need or recommendation to try to reach those places, or?
Yeah, I would say in honesty, knowledge is one thing, but opportunity is something different. And what I feel these universities or universities in general offer is on the opportunity side. So they surround you with people that have the same sort of goals, the same sort of ambitions, and ambitious people are everywhere, but it's when they're together, it's when they're in one space, that's when things happen amazingly and you get true product and progress out of it on the other side. So I would say that is one aspect of definitely being in these places. The other is being challenged to think differently. So genuinely one of the biggest transformations I've seen is in the way I think and what I think is possible, what I believe is possible. So this is something that you're experiencing from people at the very, very, very frontier. It's like think of the front and jump 100 times further than that. And it's unbelievable to see the work they are doing and the future being so close, like in your fingertips, and being able to build it. The opportunities that you're getting, not just to meet people, but also to work on things which are very, very ahead and very, very advanced.
Have you observed any of these AI implementation already done in these universities? Like, are they, let's say, in front of and on top of the all innovations that are happening right now?
Yeah, I don't think we can say any single place is on top of all innovations. I think it's so vastly spread with amazing talent everywhere. The one thing I would say, though, that places that are at the forefront get the advantage of shaping their education, shaping the methods they are using with these technologies before they become widespread. So they've had more time than a lot of other places to shape this into their method.
Practically,
Yeah.
How is it implied? Because in most of the places, in most of the educational places, universities and schools, AI is banned. You know, because it's like a source of cheating.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing which many people are afraid of.
Yeah.
Taking aside all the positive things that it can bring. So can you maybe give us some real life examples of how it is implemented?
Yeah, I would say one of the main things is encouragement of using AI in
really?
academics. That is encouragement, yeah, because if it's giving you an opportunity to go deeper into the subject, to get more information out of it, why wouldn't they want that? This is how it's adapting. And one of the things that even I found surprising going there, They have classes which is just like how to use AI to write code instead of
Oh,
write
nice.
code in computer science. So they're really leveraging this and noticing that why should we push people to do something that's going to be automated?
Yes.
Which
So they are already there.
So they've definitely started this implementation and just being a step ahead in the right direction, I would say.
Super nice. That's super nice. And so does it work? I mean, do you have some must-do internships to the companies? Like, what is it? Is project-based learning a part of your curriculum, let's say? Or can you expand on this?
Yeah, I would say that all of my curriculum is probably project-based. The main thing we do is we learn some content, depending on what classes you take. I aim for the ones which are fundamentals, so mathematical fundamentals of AI, because these things don't shift, but then you implement every single one of them into a project. The final is a project instead of an exam.
What can be a project? It's like create your own startup, or what is it like?
Funnily enough, I did take a class. It was called AI Venture Studio or AI for Impact at MIT.
Oh.
And it was create your own startup in 3 months.
Bravo.
And so it's definitely sort of an iteration and a process where you're actually pushing into the real world and what's implemented rather than just knowledge. So this is something I found quite differentiated even from past experiences. But within projects, I've done quite a lot of work with artificial intelligence in healthcare. So creating models or machine learning models, deep learning models for medicine, for diagnosing in oncology, pediatric appendicitis,
Wow.
things like this. On the other side, in the Venture Studio or the AI for Impact that we were mentioning, we built in a team of 4 electronic health record chart summarization to save physicians an incredible amount of time. And the amazing thing is that that's just the start. So it's a seed and you learn how to iterate, but you have so many people coming in to speak that your mind starts opening in terms of what you can do and what's possible. So whilst that is an incredible idea with extreme interest and very direct implementation, you also have more ideas immediately sparking and you go and build them immediately. So that's the nice thing, that you learn you can build it. So then the next day I will go and I will make a prototype in a day or two, just because you're working at this speed and pace.
And then the next step is to get investments. So do you have also maybe your example or example of your friends who jumped fast from starting, having the idea of using the power of AI and the power of collaboration, of teamwork to create something, the power of mentorship to make it happen properly, and then really to implement and to have enough funds to grow it.
Yeah, that's another thing for which it's an incredible space, because even just that prestige that it does offer, and many other places do as well, it attracts the people that are very, very interested. So even in the AI for Impact, the final evaluation, let's say, it was a demo day where we pitched our solutions, we pitched our startups to a room of 300 plus people with investors, lawyers for startups, etc. And then people reached out to us and were like, okay, let's do this. Let's start now and do it. I was fortunate enough for our venture or project to be mentored by Mitsubishi Electric Innovation Center. So their general manager, there's incredible people that are managing VCs. The mentors that are there are people you can't imagine. 2 weeks ago, actually, we had someone come in, which was one of Elon Musk's best friends. It's just crazy, like, what sort of people are there. In my first week, I found myself standing next to Bill Gates.
Oh my.
And it's just insane, because a lot of the talent that we see in the world, they came from these places, and so it's home for them. It's where they come back to, and it's incredible where you can go from there.
Okay, let's come to some of the reality that maybe most of the people are experiencing right now. let's say the highlight and the dream is, of course, to reach those places. But there are people that probably will have their education here in Cyprus. What will be your recommendation as really initially a Cypriot incredible lady who managed to experience these overseas top experiences? What will be your recommendation for them, for the teenagers, of how to progress, even if you are still here in Cyprus?
Yeah. I think opportunity exists everywhere. I'm a major believer that you can make opportunity for yourself as well. So one of the main things I believe is that momentum is the key.
Yes.
Speed, just starting to build things. So come up with an idea, teach yourself how to code. I didn't come from a coding background. I learned it, I adapted with it because it's something so useful. I do hackathons every weekend, and I think these are even
Hackathons, yes.
external, yeah. And you just build something. You ideate in the morning, you launch it by night, and start small. And then the next day you build something else and something else. And then once you start building, you start developing this interest in the idea. You start asking, okay, what is the problem in this space? Because I built a solution at first, but was that actually a problem that needed solving? So I would say, as a teenager, start sort of outside of academics, outside of education, start building things by yourself. Start exploring these different fields, and any idea, not just something that sounds very smart, like any game that you want to build, anything that you think is interesting, just try and build it. And from there, I think it's easy to level up internally because you understand better than anyone does what you like and what you can do and what you want to do.
Are there maybe any of them online communities that you would definitely recommend to join? Any motivational speakers that you would definitely recommend to follow, so as again to be, first of all, on top of what trends are existing right now? What is the market about? Second, to have some practical step-by-step recommendations from experts of how to move. So anything that you can recommend for our audience?
Yeah, I would say where I started as well, and I think it's an amazing platform still, is edX.
edX.
So they have so many programs from Harvard and MIT and so many other institutions as well on so many interesting topics. And if you want to go somewhere in AI, it's good to start at the base, start at the foundation. So just starting to learn from these classes and courses that they offer. And I believe that opens the doors to the type of people you can also start being in contact with. Another thing to try, and this is somewhat, you hear it a lot, but it can work, is try reaching out to students. People want to help. I was in the same place. I wish there was someone to help. So a lot of us have this goal of opening the doors to this sort of momentum, because there's so much ambition and talent that wants to do it. And so I think contacting and just being bold and reaching out.
Being bold, for sure. Yes, be hungry and be bold about it. Good. So are you thinking about coming back to Cyprus with all of your expertise? Do you see Cyprus as the place where you can implement your ideas?
I think Cyprus has fantastic opportunity in technology, the AI infrastructure as well. I would say one of the big things I have always liked is getting as much knowledge as possible, gathering as much knowledge, and then implementing it in the most beneficial areas, so wherever it's going to have the highest impact. And I think that's the most important thing that I will still continue doing every step going forwards.
My dear, you're so much incredible and so much inspirational. Give us, please, as the final, what to do right now, how to progress.
Yeah, I will be very, very pragmatic about it. And My first recommendation is code. Learn how to code.
Okay.
It's much easier to learn whilst you're young. Whether you're interested or not, it's going to be something so useful. Just treat it like learning a language. Learn it young. And not all of them, but pick one.
What would be your choice, like an initial?
I would say a good one to start because it's widely used is Python.
Python. Okay.
My second recommendation would be take every opportunity you can to step outside of the educational space. So build everything you can, travel as much as you can, be an exchange student, go anywhere you absolutely can, like fight for these opportunities, because that's what opens you up to the world of possibility, like seeing outside of a box. And the third thing I would say is potentially on the harder side, but try and speak with as many people as you can that are in different industries. Like, I was very much in my educational bubble. I really loved my academics and I spent a lot of time on that. But sometimes it's so helpful to just step out and ask people anywhere, uncles and aunties, and then further on, if they have any other people they know, what are you working on? What is the problem there? What do you think could solve the problem? And then you go back, because people generally don't tend to know what they want. You go back and can think, is there something I could do about this? Is this interesting? Try building it. If you like it, great. And that will give you a very good idea of what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
Actually, I have nothing to add to this because all the words are completely 100%, all the hands are up for them. And I'm really grateful for your coming. I'm really grateful for you being the part of this event as well. You know, that we will have our Gen Z section, our Gen Z track just in several hours, and we'll hear Alyssa there as well. And yeah, thanks for being so much inspirational.
Oh.
And I do wish you all the best in all your ideas. We are looking forward to see the next unicorn from Alyssa, like as the founder or as a part of the team. And yeah, thank you so much for your coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.